Let's do a bee update and see how our little honeybees are doing. There's a few of them flying around there, going in and out, gathering their little stuff, but yeah, okay, we'll let them be. We'll let them be. Oh, look how great it is. It's become part of the videos now that I guess we have to do a bee update. People ask me about the honeybees. So we do have a plan to rehome them so that as we start chopping this truck up for parts, they are not left homeless. What I'm doing is pulling all the valve springs out because I have different valve springs that I'm going to run with this different cam setup. It's normally not my style of setup, but it's what we're going to have to do to get through this upcoming race. Again, normally not the way I would want to do it, but it's the way it's going to happen. And what I'm trying to do is maximize what this little engine will do. It's not anywhere near what I've been running. At least I don't think it is. Could be more for all I know. But what I'm going to try to do is maximize all the effort that this engine can make. And when I take the valves out, I turn them a little as I take them out, just to see if there's any rough spots or anything. And all these valves look phenomenal. They may get touched a little bit just to clean some of the goop off of them, or some of the slight buildup off of them. But honestly, the stuff that's on there, you can take it off with your finger. So I mean, it already wipes off. So great condition. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock the rest of these out. As you can see, I've already got 3 of them out. I'm gonna go ahead and knock the rest of these out, and then we'll spend some time cleaning these heads up and making them look good again. Is that not just some gorgeous port work right there? Still a little bit of cleaning to do, but Lord have mercy, look at the size of those things. Let's compare that to a stock. Same casting number head. Look, I can get one finger up to that knuckle right there, and it's about the same size of one finger. So the port is that size. Now let's walk over here, keep in mind up to that knuckle, that finger, and let's look at the size of the port on this one. Yeah, I'd say it's a lot more airflow there. Yes. It has monster ports in what's going to be in pretty much a stock motor, but it's going to flow well, so it should make more power. Now, understand this. It's not all about the size, guys, of your ports. Bigger does not necessarily equal better. It's about the shape. It's about the turn down. It's about, it's a combination of things. So right now we're going back together with different springs. The old springs down there and these springs over here. Pack racing springs, by the way. Got some spacers and some springs, retainers, the whole 9 yards here. And your FE heads will not look like these. I understand that. These are, well, the only thing still a FE head on these is the freaking casting number and the shape of the exhaust port, or the exhaust casting here on the outside. Nothing else about these are FE heads. So again, trying to get the most out of what is pretty much a stock motor. So few things we do, a few things I do to try to get the utmost out of it. So again, yours won't look like this, but the process is about the same. You want to match your springs to the cam you're running, or within reason. There's pressures and seat height and a few things you got to know, which is why there's little shims right here to get my seat height pressure, or my seat height and pressure and all correct for what I'm running, because these springs technically don't go with this cam technically, because this is not FE stuff. So there's a whole process to make them work with shims, and you got to know spring pressures, your retainers, all this stuff. You can get different heights in this stuff and different thicknesses, and all that plays into your seat height, and all that will affect your pressure. So, or your seat pressure, I should say. So just keep that in mind when buying a cam. If you buy an aftermarket cam, or if you buy a cam from somebody else, you do need to know exactly what you're getting, not just some random number, because all that plays into what spring you run. I think some of these lifter failures and things that we see a lot of, I don't think it's all lifter failures. I think some of it is improper spring pressure. Some of it is improper oil. Some of it may be cam related. And some of it is probably honestly lifter related. But I don't think it's all on the lifters. I believe it's a chain reaction of several things falling together. For instance, let me say this. If you get a lifter that the hardening process is subpar on, but everything else is right, and you've got a spring that's a little on the light side, there's a chance that thing will break in just fine and run forever. But let's say you have that same lifter that has hardening process issues, and you put the wrong spring on it, so it's got way too much seat pressure on it, and then you start combining issues, and let's say you decide not to run a good break-in oil, and you're just going to put zinc additive in it. It'll be fine, right? Well, then you end up with things like the cam that I pulled out of it, which somewhere here is a result of that well, you won't be able to quite see it on camera, but this is not flat anymore. It's rounded on the bottom. There was a couple of them, and here's another one. It's a little worse. And that's what people are getting. They're getting they're calling it lifter failures, but I don't always think it's the lifter. I'm not saying the lifters that there aren't subpar manufacturing nowadays. That is not what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that if you do everything right, that you may still not get a wiped out cam. None of that is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is pay attention to the process and you lower the risk of these events happening. That's all I'm saying. One thing a lot of people overlook, chase the threads on your bolts before you assemble. Remember, a engine, especially a head gasket, any of that will live and die off of the torque settings, and you want to make sure you're getting a true reading and not just a reading that's crammed against a bunch of dirt and crud that may have gotten in these holes. You want to make sure the reading you get is accurate. That will ensure that all your bolts are torqued down right and that the surfaces are flat against each other. A lot of people overlook that. They think just because it's out of a machine shop, or if it's something that's been covered or whatever the case may be, that they don't have to do that. But I'm telling you, I have seen failures because they thought bolts were tight and they wasn't tight. They wasn't tight to the surface. They were tight as far as how far down you could turn them. But that was only because they were hitting crud and dirt or grease or whatever the case may be that had been packed inside the hole for the bolt. So it's important to always do that. One head is on, one to go. Already torqued down. Always follow your proper torque sequence so that you bring it down even, so you don't, so yeah, Betty White is coming together. Now keep in mind, I'm in no way saying that what I'm doing is better than aftermarket parts. I have had people tell me that, if you bought a set of aluminum, let's talk heads. If you bought a set of aluminum heads, buy a set of aluminum heads. Okay. I hear what you're saying. I'm not deaf. But a set of budget aluminum heads for an FE is still close to $2,000 in that area. Those are factory forward heads that are ported. The valves are not FE valves. The springs are not FE springs. The heads have been shaved. They've had chamber work, bowl work. Honestly, they make as much power as any set of aluminum heads would, or they'll support as much power as any set of aluminum heads. That engine's not going to make 1,000 horsepower. That's just all they are to it, because it's a stock motor mostly. But let's hypothetically say, and let's use a nice round number of 500. It's not a round number, it's an odd number, but let's use a nice number like 500. If you bought a set of aluminum heads that say they can support 500 horsepower, well, so can those. But I didn't spend the money on those. I did, however, spend time. And I know there's going to be internet gurus out there that say, well, my time is worth more than that. Well, good for you. That's why I don't bring my stuff to you. The fact is, if a guy wants to go racing on a tight budget, and I mean a tight budget, this is the kind of stuff you have to do, and it does work, and it does pay off. You just have to be willing to invest in it. And if you don't have money, the only other thing you've got to invest is time. I think time is more valuable than money, but I don't have any money. So I don't have the option So this is the way I go. Well, guys, I'm going to keep working on Betty White. I did get the head painted, the one head that's on it. I still got to do the other head. Didn't do any footage of me painting the head because I figured that wasn't really exciting for you. But that's the gist of how it's going to look, you know. White motor, black oil pan, gold timing chain cover. I'm just going to leave that aluminum, that'll match the intake. So yeah, it will be ready in the morning. It will be ready to sit back inside Legacy. But I'll tell you, the more I tinker with this, the more I like the idea of a stock-ish motor. And Lord willing, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed. Braking goes well and that cam lives and we don't have any issues with it. That Betty White may just stay like she is and not get much upgrades and just enjoy driving the Galaxie a little bit. I think Legacy has earned the right to live a little easier life. For those that don't know, can go back to some of our early videos. This was an original car I bought from the original owner. This car was raced from 1963 when he picked it up at the dealership until about 90. I don't remember what the tag expiration date was. I think it was 90, I don't know, sometime in the 90s. Parked in his garage because of a brake issue, and it's sitting in his garage till I drug it out. I literally got it fired up and went straight to the racetrack with it. So this car has lived its entire life racing. So I think it's time that Legacy, don't panic. I'm not saying we're not racing the car anymore. I'm just saying it's time for Legacy to get a little better treatment than what it's been getting. And that will allow us to focus on, I wish the camera would focus on it. It will allow us, oh, there it is. That's a trick. To focus on the gasser build that's sitting right there that gets started this winter. That's going to be the focus. That's going to be the one that's going to be a purpose-built race car. Keep in mind, Legacy was never a purpose-built race car. Legacy was a car that Melvin ordered from the factory the way he wanted it with the intent to race it, yes, but it was a Ford production factory car that he wanted to take racing. And we've slowly pushed it a little closer to the edge, because when I started, I wanted a street car that I could go racing with. I've kind of gotten away from that. I keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. It's not necessarily the desire to win. Some of it's that. Some of it's rule changes with the association that I race with, keeps forcing changes on the car that I don't really want to change, but I got to change. So slowly this car's been pushed closer and closer and closer to that edge of a race car. It was never my intent with the car. My intent was a street car that I could race. So I think Legacy is going to gear back towards a street car that I can race. And let's see if we can do this. The gasser back there is going to end up being the car that is all about racing, that we can street. Because you can street anything, right? So with that being said, we're plugging along on it. Now, you may not get to see the payoff. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you won't get to see the payoff in this video. Tonight is mine and my wife's wedding anniversary, 14 years today. So we're gonna go out tonight and we're gonna enjoy our anniversary. So the engine probably won't get completely done, is what I'm saying this evening. So with that being said, it will be done tomorrow. It will be ready to go in the car tomorrow, and we're gonna do everything in our power to be ready Friday to head to Orangeburg, South Carolina, the South Carolina Motorplex, and do a little racing. Have a little fun. We got 2 races left this season. Orangeburg and Shadyside. Now, you wouldn't know it by some of the posts that's been put out, but technically, this is my home state race. It's the only race in our state. We don't get a lot of publicity, but we are there. There's the other head, all stripped down. Valves and all's laying down there. There's Betty White sitting there, patiently waiting. Also, guys, keep in mind, we are still going to give stuff away when we reach 500 subscribers. We're over halfway there. So honestly, all I can do is ask that you subscribe to the channel. Hit the little like button. If you want to comment, that's great too. But share these videos or go back through my timeline of videos. There's probably over 100 of them there. Pick your favorite one, share it with people, share it on social media. Try to help the channel grow. But if you hit the like, subscribe, hit the little bell, do all the little doodad things you're supposed to do. When we get to 500 subscribers, we are giving away a Summit gift card. It's all, the ball is in your court, is what I'm saying. Hopefully you like the direction I'm going here. We're going to talk more about a new direction that I'm carrying things in later videos. The big thing is, over the winter, we are getting started building our gasser. Changes are on the horizon. Our season next year is going to look very different than our season did this year. It's going to be our schedule next year. So hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff. I hope y'all are enjoying some of these videos. I know I try to keep them short. Some longer videos are coming, but there's no need to drag these out. So Betty White is almost there. Just wanted to kind of give you a quick update on her status. And she is like this close. We are doing something a hair different this time. I am not running a mechanical fuel pump this time. If you go back a couple videos and see the cam failure, the weird cam failure I had, I know it didn't have nothing to do with the fuel pump, but it just makes me think a lot of things are tied together. That if one thing goes down, then a whole series of events could happen. So when this engine goes into the car will be running a Holley fuel pump from here on out to feed the engine. So going a little different route. I always said I wouldn't go electric fuel pump, that I would stay mechanical, but times are changing. There's a few other changes coming too. Y'all stay tuned for that. I hope the Lord blesses you for the entire day. Y'all have a great day. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.